The Seattle Seahawks currently hold the number 18 overall pick in the NFL draft, and I think they're in a prime position to improve this team. This was a roster that was a game away from winning the NFC West and making the playoffs. Unfortunately, injuries kind of derailed the Seahawks season in the second half, but this is a really talented roster. Jackson Smith-Njigba is coming off a breakout season. I love the defense that Mike Macdonald has implemented. And with the hire of Clint Kubiak as the offensive coordinator, this is a Seahawks roster that could go pretty far in the 2025 season. With that being said, which players can the Seahawks look to draft in this class, and who would be good fits for this team? That's what we're going to be talking about as we are doing a Seattle Seahawks 7-round mock draft. If you guys are new to the channel, we have done one of these for every NFL team up to this point. This is team 18 in the series. This is an original series that I started on the channel, and you guys have been so supportive of it. Leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, leave a comment, and let me know which picks you guys agreed with, which picks you disagreed with. Also, be sure to check out my Patreon page. I will leave that linked in the description below. For just $5 a month, you guys will get exclusive access to my in-depth draft guide and big board, over 500 different prospects, updated combine and pro day numbers, player stats, and all the information you guys are looking for to be successful this draft cycle. Leave a comment, and let's go ahead and kick this off with the Seattle Seahawks at pick number 18. Here at pick number 18 for Seattle, I'm going to go with Nick Emmanwori out of South Carolina. Mike Macdonald, if you go back to how the Baltimore Ravens ran their defense, safety was a position that he heavily valued. They drafted Kyle Hamilton in the first round, and he turned into an all-pro player under Macdonald. Emmanwori, I think, is one of the most versatile chess pieces along the defensive side of the football that Mike Macdonald will just absolutely love to have in his secondary. He could be that big nickel for you. He can play in a man-to-man scheme. He can play zone for you. He's so athletic. The combine, he ran a 4.38 at 6'3", 220 pounds. He's got a 1.49 10-yard split, did 20 on the bench, 43-inch vertical, and an 11.6 broad jump. This isn't just an athlete, though. He has been a really productive player for South Carolina. He's physical in coverage. He can play in one-on-one opportunities. He closes on the football really quickly. He shows ball skills. He even shows some return ability after he had a pick six, I believe, earlier this season. He's just a really good football player that if you're Seattle, you cut Rayshawn Jenkins, you're looking to kind of improve the secondary on the back end. I think Emmanwori can be that player for you. You could play him in any spot on this defensive side, whether it's free safety, strong safety. I don't think the success of Kobe Bryant down the stretch of the season is deterring them from taking Emmanwori, who I think is one of the top defensive backs in this draft class. He's my number 2 safety, just behind Malachi Starks, and he is my number 26 overall prospect. I think he's a perfect scheme fit for Seattle, though, and I'm going to be taking him here at 18. Here at pick number 50, I really think Seattle is going to look tackle in this draft. Now, Abraham Lucas is a really interesting one because the knee injury is a major concern. It was a concern he had when he was coming out, and he just hasn't been able to stay on the field consistently. I think Cameron Williams is very much in play here. Whether he starts next year or he is a long-term option, he's just a player that I kind of want to bet on in this class because especially at this range. In the second round, I think is a perfect spot to take him. He's 6'5", 335 pounds. He's a really good athlete. I think in this zone rushing scheme that Kubiak wants to run, he's going to be able to get out in space. He's going to be able to pull, and he's going to be able to land impactful blocks in the run game. He did it his entire collegiate career at Texas, and I think he's a really good option for this team. You need to get another tackle opposite of Charles Cross that can be reliable to be on the field. Yes, you have Abraham Lucas. I still don't think that changes my mind. I think it's a good guard class where pick 82, 137, I think you're going to be able to find some value on the interior. I think you have to go look early, though, at getting a right tackle that can be a potential starter for you down the road. I think he can and will start in the league. He is raw, though. He has got to improve some of his footwork. He got beat to speed rushers from time to time. Penalties have been a major concern with him. but he is one of the younger tackles in this draft class. He's only started one full season, and I think he could develop into being a tackle similar to what Darnell Wright has been for the Chicago Bears, which is one of the top right tackles in all of football. I'm a big fan of Cameron Williams for this team, and I'm going to take a flyer on him, or not really a flyer, but we're going to take him here at 50 and play him at right tackle next season. Here at pick number 82 for Seattle, I'm going to go with the defensive lineman. They got good play from the defensive line last year, but I definitely think getting a younger option to play that 3-4 defensive end spot for you long term is a position that they need to look to address early in this class. Shamar Turner from Texas A&M is a really intriguing option. He's 6'3", 290 pounds, at 33 5/8 inch arms at the combine. He's a really good player. He played some snaps off the edge in 2023 for the Aggies. They kicked him more inside in 2024, but he gives you that inside-outside versatility, which I think makes him a perfect fit for this 3-4 defensive end. I think he could be a really, really good player at the next level. He's a fluid athlete that showed bend. He has a lot of lower body power. He plays low. He generates that power from his lower body. He's able to collapse the pocket, and he's able to defend the run really, really well for the position as well. I do think you would like to see him not be so reliant on his tools. He needs to develop more counters as a pass rusher, and he's going to have to improve at just being a consistent athlete. There were some explosiveness questions with him on tape, but I think he's a really good player, and once again, a really good fit for this defense. I think he could play that 3-4 defensive end for you, kind of shore up the edge, and then you have Boye Mafe and Uchenna Nwosu coming around. I think this is the type of player that they need to look to address. I think he's a great scheme fit. I think he's a strong player that's going to be able to consistently stop the run. And you pair him alongside Byron Murphy, I think you could have a really, really nice interior defensive line. So I'm going to take Shamar Turner here at number 82. We're on the clock here at number 137, but the Chicago Bears have come calling, and they want to move up 12 spots. They're willing to give us their 6th rounder at 197 in exchange for 236. It's a small trade down, but I'm in favor of moving up almost 40 spots from the 7th round to the 6th round. Just get a little bit better draft capital in that range. So I'm going to make this small trade down with Chicago and trade back just 12 spots. Here in pick 149, I am going to go look for a receiver. Jackson Smith-Njigba broke out in a huge way for this Seattle team last year, which I think gives Seahawks fans a lot of excitement. But with Tyler Lockett probably not going to be on the team next year, questions about DK Metcalf's future with the team, I think you need to go look for another option at the receiving position. And I really like Kobe Hudson, the receiver out of UCF. He's been a my guy in this class for quite some time, and he didn't test as well as I wanted to see. He ran a 4.57. He plays a lot faster than that, though. He is a deep ball winner. He is going to win deep. He's got good tracking ability with the football in the air, and he is going to be that deep ball threat. I think he's also a pretty good contested catch receiver. He has good size at 6 foot, 193, and he's a good route runner. On all 3 levels. He can win the short to intermediate routes. He can win the deep ball routes. I think he is an immediate player for this team. Assuming Geno Smith is still with the roster next year, this is the type of player that I think Geno would absolutely love to have because he throws some of those beautiful deep balls. I think Kobe Hudson could be on the receiving end of some pretty big plays for this team. So I'm going to take him here at number 149. I think he's a really solid player, and he's going to be an instant contributor for this roster. Here at pick number 173, I'm really intrigued by Drew Kendall, the guard out of Boston College. We mentioned we were going to be going with the interior offensive line later in the class, and this might not be the only interior offensive lineman that we take, but I think Drew Kendall, I've got a 5th round grade on him. He's a really solid pass protector. He's 6'3", 304 pounds. I thought he held his own in pass protection. He anchored really well. He had above average athleticism for the position, and he's got good hand placement. He's a guy that played center for you, and center has kind of been a revolving door for this team. You had Connor Williams retire last season on you. You're hoping that Olu Oluwatimi can develop into that. I think Drew Kindle is a little bit of a better prospect than that, though. He's 6'3", 304, doesn't have the greatest length in the world, but I definitely think he is a good athlete that can hold his own in pass protection. With that being said, play strength and balance are going to be a concern with him. It showed up a lot on his Boston College tape, but I think this is around the range I would consider taking a guy like Drew Kendall with his athletic abilities, with his abilities to anchor, with his abilities to win with his hands at the line of scrimmage. I think he's a good player. Don't pay attention to number 329 on the consensus big board. I don't think the consensus has really come around to the type of player that he could be at the next level. I've got a 5th round grade on him, and I think he would be a great fit for this running scheme. So I'm going to take Drew Kendall here at 173. Here at 187, we're going to go with another guy that was a huge winner from the NFL Draft Combine, and that's going to be Syracuse edge rusher Fadil Diggs. Another guy that I have a 5th round grade on, 6'4", 258 pounds, had almost 34-inch arms and almost 78-inch wingspan. He ran a 4.57 with a 1.6 10-yard split. This is an explosive player that comes with a lot of experience. He started his collegiate career in 2020 playing for Texas A&M, where he was a captain for 2 years for the Aggies. Transferred to Syracuse this past season, where I thought he put up really solid numbers for them. He had 42 pressures on the season with 8 sacks, a 15.1% pass rush win rate. He's got great length off the edge. He showed versatility. Texas A&M played him at middle linebacker at times. I thought he was good. He's got quickness and explosiveness into the backfield. You want to see him do a better job of winning consistently with his hands. I think that's been a major question mark with him throughout his entire collegiate career. He's just so reliant on his traits, and he's not the strongest guy in the world. But I think here at 187, as another just flamethrower off the edge with his athleticism, with his quickness to get into the backfield, he could be a really good fit for the Seattle team, especially given the injury history Uchenna Nwosu has. So I really like him in this defense. I'm going to take him here at 187. Here at 197, I think cornerback depth is a position that I'm going to look to address. This team did draft DJ James and Nehemiah Pritchett last season, but I still think you can never have too many corners. It's such a volatile position. Reek Woolen has shown his inconsistencies, so I think this team could look to go get a corner. I like Jason Marshall out of Florida. He's 6 foot, 202 pounds, ran a 4.49. He's been just battling injuries the last year and a half, it seems like. His 2022 tape is really, really good. He is a guy that is going to play a lot of zone coverage, which I think he's a very good zone coverage corner. He's got great size, I feel like. He's got long arms for the position. He's a good run defender. He can come down as a blitzer. He shows physicality, good hand usage at the line of scrimmage. The speed is going to be a concern. He ran a 4.49. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but I think if you put him in zone coverage, he's going to make some plays. He's got good ball skills. He closes on the football quickly, and I think he's a good player. So I'm going to go with Jason Marshall here at 197. With our final pick of the mock draft, we're going to go with one of my favorite fits for this team. And I am going to go with a linebacker. I would have loved to go quarterback somewhere in this draft. They didn't end up falling to where I wanted to take them. I love Nicholas Martin as a potential fit here for the Seahawks. Now, Tyrese Knight was fantastic as a rookie. I thought he showed really good promise at the middle linebacker spot. You were able to bring in Ernest Jones, who I fully expect them to re-sign. Even if you're unable to resign him, though, I think Nick Martin is a really interesting option. Now, he's undersized. He's 6 foot, 222 pounds. But he ran a 4.53 with a 1.54 split, did 26 on the bench, had a 38-inch vertical. He's an explosive athlete. That's the area of his game that I think he is going to be really, really interesting. Coverage is not one of his strong suits, but he is a hard hitter. He's a good block shedder. He's got speed. He's got really solid movement abilities. And I think in the 7th round, you can take that and he can be an impactful player for your defense. So I'm going to take Nicholas Martin here at 212 to round out this draft class and just add another piece. Not to mention, he's a really good blitzer. He's rushed the passer really, really well over the last few seasons. I think he's going to be an impactful player for this defense. I'm going to take Nick Martin to finish this class out at 212. So there we have it, Seahawks fans. My 7th-round Seattle mock draft. Get Nick Emmanwori, who's just a freak that can play all over the defense. Improve the offensive line with Cameron Williams and Drew Kendall. Add another weapon in Kobe Hudson. And really just improve the trenches. You get Shamar Turner. You add a guy like Fadil Diggs. You get Nicholas Martin, who's going to be a really solid blitzing linebacker for you. And I think this is a successful draft. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you guys like it? Do you hate it? Would love to hear from you guys down below. Leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.